Now, with all the environmental doom and gloom predictions around us, traffic jams and exhaust fumes do little to promote a green lifestyle.
Well, it's an issue that students from Leicester are particularly concerned about. They won a competition called Over to You, where they had to write, film and edit a news story with a little help from the team here at Central Tonight.
Yes, and the three youngsters from Saw Valley College are keen to encourage us to change the way we commute to school, work and play. This is their report.
I'm SHITAL. I'm PRIYA.
And I'm KARISHMA. And now,
it's over to us! Yeah, we've had it all before. Transport problems in our towns and cities, for motorway madness and rush hour traffic.
Leicester's commuting disasters!
They seem to manage perfectly well in places like Amsterdam with all their cycle routes. And even here in the Midlands, Nottingham's tram network is usually trouble-free.
We get so many messages to be green and reducing our carbon footprint and saving the future.
But how can we when public transport options are limited and so simply off-putting? What do you generally think about public transport?
Louder. It's louder.
It's not good. They don't offer many rates for people our age. It's always a set rate.
I think it's rubbish because it never comes on time. I think it could be a bit cheaper because at the moment the actual day tickets are £4.80 and quite a lot of people they don't really want to spend that much.
Are there any improvements that you think could be made?
Warm seats.
Travelling by train can also have its fair share of problems, as we found out.
Unfriendly people on the train, antisocial behaviour and that kind of thing.
I think it depends where you're travelling to, because I've had some really grotty trains. I think there should be more regular, because sometimes they can be really late and stuff. I think the Eurostar is the main problem here, rather than the normal trains.
We try to cut down on being driven everywhere, but waiting for a bus can be a nerve-wracking experience, especially when you're on your own, travelling when it's dark and worried about antisocial behaviour. But some of our friends at Saw Valley College have no choice. So we're on the bus here with Mandeep today, and she has quite a treacherous journey to school. Mandeep, tell us a little bit about this.
My everyday school journey starts with catching the train in Cleves to Leicester, and followed by 8 a.m. bus to school between home and school.
What do you dislike most about the journey?
Ticket costs so much. It costs £90 for a month, and sometimes I travel alone, so sometimes that feels really unsafe.
We like to think we're fairly green out of college. Even some of the teachers cycle to work.
What makes you cycle into school instead of driving?
Well, for one thing, I feel an awful lot better when I get in because it wakes me up. And it's good exercise, and it's good for my bank balance as well.
What will make people cycle more to school?
I think if they felt that the roads were safer is probably the biggest thing.
How does the school help to encourage you to cycle to work?
Well, fortunately, we've got 2 new bike sheds, so that's obviously very useful. And there's excellent shower facilities.
Leicester became Britain's first environment city, but that was 20 years ago. Can it still be proud of that title today? We're joined by the leader of Leicester City Council, Ross Wilmot. Ross, thanks for joining us today. What has Leicester done to make transport more green in general?
Well, the City Council is really committed to green transport in the city. We've just introduced a new park and ride scheme from Enderby to the city centre to reduce people's use of cars, and that's going really well, along with the one on Hinkley Road. We have another one planned for Birstall, and hopefully one here on the Melton Road as well. That will reduce the number of cars coming to the city by thousands each year.
Surely there's room for improvements. What improvements would you like to see?
One of the plans we've got is to have a new bus station in Leicester. £67 million we've been given by the government for the bus station, which will make people use the buses more. We're also looking at hybrid buses, which are buses that run on batteries as well as diesel.
Would you personally feel happy in cycling or taking the bus around Leicester?
I do get the bus, probably not as often as I should do, but I get number 25 from my house into the city centre. And also I do cycle, but tend to cycle in the summer rather than the winter. I'm a bit of a fair weather cyclist.
So we're doing our bit to help the environment.
The school doing its bit to be green.
And now,
It's over to you.
Wow.
Enthusiastic filmmakers.
They are, yes, very good. A lot of issues covered there, weren't there?
Yeah, well, we enjoyed having them with us for the day.